Well, it's with a heavy heart that I start this video because I'm standing in front of my very first shelter that I built when I started my YouTube channel. The first 2 videos I did when I started YouTube was building this thing. And all these years later, termites have had their way with it, the canvas is all rotted. So I'm going to tear it down. Let's get to work. I want to try to keep some of the things in here, like this tarp. I don't think it's rotted. Water wasn't coming through here, so it stayed dry all this time. So it's been on here for 4 years, but it hasn't been wet for 4 years. And this shelf here, it seems to be alright. So I want to keep this as well. You can lift that up out of the way, and I've got more floor space. And then when you want to use it, you just drop it down, and you can put your bags and pots and whatever you want on it. I designed it so I could slide it out like that, see? And then I can just cut the stays off. Like that, and then I've got my shelf with the hinges still attached to it. Heaps of moths in here. They slip on there, that's what that hinge is on, so it slides on that bit of bamboo, and then that's just lashed off onto the frame. Wasn't as spectacular as I was thinking. What do you reckon? Is it too late to change my mind? Well, that was rewarding, apart from the splinter I got in the hand. Yeah, right. Now to get rid of all this junk. Some of these pieces of bamboo are actually not rotted at all. I'm quite surprised about. So I might actually keep some of these. If you want to check out how I built this shelter, yeah, go on the channel, go right to the very start of it, the very first videos on the channel, and you'll find it there. But just bear in mind, they were the first 2 videos I made. I think they're still good. Want to learn about waterproofing tarps and building with bamboo, and yeah, check them out if you're interested. That's all I'm saying. Alright, I reckon that's it. Silky Gomboy 240 versus Australian hardwood. Yeah. So this is the last piece I need for this garden bed, and a couple of stakes just to hold it in place. And then I got to get on to doing the fence. Went out this morning, first light, collected the bamboo for that. Well, once I get through this thing, if I get through this thing and get that finished off, I'll get them lashed on. I'm gonna have to split this bad boy. She's too wide. Feeling a bit lazy today. I don't even want to move the camera around. I just want to lock it off in one spot and just, yeah. Alright, I'll move it. Just for you. Alright, I've just got those potatoes planted up, and I've left the stakes up the side so I can add more logs to it. As the plant grows, I'll do that and then put more soil in it, and yeah, just keep building it up. Instead of having all the potatoes just growing on the surface, they can yeah, keep growing out as the plant grows up. So that's that over there, got that watered in. What I got here, I got some broccoli, I've got some cauliflower, and then I've got some companion plants. And the idea being these will keep the insects away from these, hopefully. So I've got some dill, got some sage, and then I've got some thyme as well, which has seen better days, but it should come back. So I'm going to get this planted out, and then I'll water it, mulch it. Water's a bit of an issue. I should have thought ahead and built a water tank on one of my shelters. Instead I've got to cart water from a couple of hundred metres down the hill from a dam. The sage down there. Seeing as I've just got one giant dill that's sitting here in front of the camera. Got one giant dill plant, I should say. I bought these from a garden centre, and they really could have another month or so, because they've only just been potted up, just so they can sell them for a bit more money because they're in a bigger pot. But right, well, as you saw on the trail cam, I had a visitor, a couple of visitors actually. The main visitor was a little bandicoot, which is an Australian marsupial. They're interesting, their pouch faces backwards. It's not forward like a wallaby or a kangaroo. But, that all being said, he came in here and took a fancy to this one plant, dug out beside it. He might have been looking for grubs and things in there. Hasn't killed that plant, so it'll hopefully come back. But all in all, they're looking fairly good. I've got one thyme here, I think it's died. And I expected animals to get in here. I'm in nature. I haven't fenced it off at all. I could put a fence around here, but it's only going to keep horses out. I haven't had a horse for years, so if I start getting a lot of wallabies and things coming in here chewing down the leaves on all these plants, I'll have to look at putting some wire in here or doing something to keep them away. I can't trap them. They're all protected animals. The bandicoot's protected, and it's cool to see them around too. So this is just an onion I sprouted, and when you peel off the outer layers, you can break it right back down to the state where it's all segmented like that. They'll continue to grow and produce a new onion. That's the theory. I'm just digging over this garden bed, but what I've got here, got a really big centipede. He's a bit docile, because we are coming into winter, but look at the size of this fella. That's why I'm digging this with a shovel, and I'm not digging it by hand, because I don't want this guy biting me. But that's a really big centipede, and that's why you don't go sticking your hands in the dirt and stuff. Now I'm not going to kill him. A lot of people would see that and they'd kill it. I'm in his environment, so I'm just going to take him somewhere where there's a rotten log that he can get into and just keep going on with his life and doing the things he does. There's no need for me to harm him in any way. I'm just holding him there lightly. He's not freaking out. If I was pressing harder, he'd freak out, but I'm just holding him lightly. I don't know if I can get you a close-up of it. At his tail, looks like a little cricket, and the cricket's still alive. I can see him squirming, but he's well and truly got him caught. Now he's biting him. Turn him around, you can see him. See him there? But yeah, he's giving it to that cricket now. So he's obviously just caught him. Well, these beds are prepared now. They're going to have tomatoes in them. So I'm going to have cherry tomatoes, regular tomatoes. Everything else is looking good. Cauliflower, broccoli, they're all looking good. Potatoes are now up. But this here is a bell pepper, or a mini bell pepper. That's as big as they get. So I'm going to plant that in here. And then, yeah, it's been a long day. Well, as you saw, I had some visitors. The possums have taken a liking to my cauliflower and broccoli, and they've chewed them off. As you can see, they'll no doubt be back again, have another feed of them now that they've got a taste for it. So I'm going to have to get some wire and make some sort of enclosure over the top of these just to stop them coming back in. Yeah, anyway, got some tomatoes to plant, and yeah. check these guys out. These potatoes are just powering on. Every time I come up here, you can see how much they've grown. So yeah, really happy with that. The onions and the mini bell peppers, yeah, not so much. They're struggling a little bit. I think they need a good feed. I might get some horse manure and put around them just to help them along. The tomatoes are starting to come back. They were really bad. We got a big heap of rain here and they just got hammered. But they're starting to come back. Still got to build trellises for those. I've got some wire on the fence there now for the snow peas, and they're starting to power up those. I've got to build a trellis above it, more wire up there so they can keep going up another couple of meters. But the cauliflower and broccoli, they're really coming back now. That I put this wire on here. Possums can't eat them down anymore. So yeah, they're making a comeback. So I may get a crop out of those. But I'm really keen to see how many potatoes I'm going to get out of this bed. It's going to be interesting in a couple of months' time when I pull all these logs out and see what I've got. But that'll be in another video. Till next time, guys, thanks for watching. Catches.